Good morning, everybody. My name is Ben Lemoyne. I'm Director of Communications and Community Engagement for the school system. Welcome. We're sorry for the late notice this morning, but this is something very important. We're going to get right to it. First, I want to introduce Superintendent Sito Narcisse.
Thank you, Ben. I don't know if we have enough microphones here. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to come this morning. I wanted to talk through a little bit about today. We have some important news to share with you, but I first wanted to share a little bit about where we are today and how we got here. In January 2021, when I arrived from Washington, D.C. to become the proud superintendent here at East Baton Rouge, my goal at the time was to learn about our community and also be able to understand where our community has been and also where do we need to go for the next couple of years, as I've been learning with community stakeholders, families, talking to students, raising their voices, and also being able to engage with all the community partners that we have that can help us to do this work. In that process of those 3 years, my first year here, I was able to sit down and ask, what is the most important things that the school district needed and how we as a community can move forward to continue to build in a great school district. Now, as you can imagine, along that process, I made great friends. I've also engaged with a lot of great people. And we also, I tell folks, have a great talented staff, 6,000 employees that support tremendously every day the children and the families of this community. In that process, we came up with what they call the 6 keys, with university partners, with nonprofit partners, faith-based leaders, and all those folks. And we began to chart a pathway around our work in this community. And I'm happy to say that the fruits of our labor have started to come out where you can actually see tremendous progress. Now, I always tell people, remember where we came from. We were in a place where during COVID, kids were behind reading, which we had to catch up. And there was a lot of things that we had to do. So just at that time, which I'm thankful to our state superintendent and others who voted to give us a lot of dollars to be able to move the work, we were just trying to catch up. And so we said, if we at least caught up and got our kids to a particular level, we can be able to continue to build. And so with that work, we came up with our Pathways to Bright Futures. And in those pathways, we have a total of 10,000 high school students, about 2,500 of those per grade level. We only had 2,000 high school students at that time that were taking advanced courses that were AP, dual enrollment, or industry-based certifications. We now have over 6,000 students out of 10,000 high school students that are in those classes. And we are very proud about that with the work of our teachers in the community. So we went from about 20-something% at that time to 80%. We also at the time said that we needed to increase more children getting an early childhood education than we could in any other time. And in that process, we said, let's expand seats to be able to do that work. And so by doing that, we opened up more seats and said, let's get kids. And we were able not only to get more kids, over 1,000+ kids into those programs, but we also increased the level of rating of performance in that. And we were proud about that work. We also talked about how we wanted to make sure that we were able to get more businesses to invest in our students. And we were thankful that over 60+ businesses working with the chamber and other business partners to give kids internships, and within those internships to get them to get in their career and their workforce. We were super excited about that. That program has grown over the hundreds in our time doing that work. We also said we wanted to increase the amount of children that were progressing in terms of progress. And progress means seeing kids progressing in terms of the letter grade of the state. And we're excited to say almost 90% of schools have made progress. Doesn't mean they're at the top, but they're making progress from where they were to where they are today. And I thank our teachers and our community for supporting our kids for that work. We also said we needed to make sure that we created a literacy blueprint in partnership with city partners, our mayor, and all of our institutions and our community partners to be able to have a blueprint on how to do that work, not only locally, but also nationally. And if you go to our literacy blueprint on Google, you'll see that that blueprint's actually not only been used here in Baton Rouge, but also in other cities who've taken an example of that. And we're proud of that work. We also said we wanted to get back some of our schools that have been struggling over years. So we've been able to do that. We brought Capitol High School back. That was a school that was failing, that had multiple providers over it, but that school went from an F to a C because of its workforce development work that we've done over there in partnership with businesses in what we call our focused choice schools that provide just a different innovation of opportunity in the district. Now, I say all these things to say that the goal when you are a part as a superintendent is that you are more of a facilitator of education, and you work with multiple partners to lead that work together. And you have to know that you have to continue to work with people to continue to build. We didn't always get everything right, but we built the system to a better place and also to make a foundation from where we were to where we are now. And we still have lots more work to do. This is why in my conversation, as we've been going through, I've spoken to board leadership and others on the board and just said, I've decided that, I have moved the work here in the school system up to a certain point, and I think it's now time to transition for a new leader to come in to be able to continue to build on that work. And so that is why this decision today, I wanted to make this news. I feel that in the work that I have done with our team, we've been able to bring to this level, and we want to now take it to another level. And I believe that the new leader that comes in, and also the support of the board, supporting the current board around policies that will continue to keep our work, our 6 keys, our foundational work that we built as a community, continues to build over time. When nobody tells you about this wonderful job is that you know that there is a time that you begin and there's a time that it ends. And at that time, you lead with the people around you to continue to build that work. Just like board members, just like superintendents, just like anybody else. And I feel that at that time, my time has come to that. So I've decided, after talking to my family, connecting with other folks that are close to me, that it's time for me to move on and continue to support the work. But I will say this as a community. It is important that you support not only the leader, the board members, but also you support your teachers, your bus drivers, your janitors, your cafeteria workers, because all of those folks are a part of supporting students. My hope all the time is that a part of this community is that we are looking at things from a much more positive space to build, and not always be hard on ourselves that if we don't hit a certain marker, then that means we haven't made it. It is important that we continue to build and build and build. I am hopeful that we've built enough infrastructure, and as I discussed with board leadership, the support structures that will continue to keep the work going. This work is more than just a superintendent. It's more than just a board. It's more than anybody else that supports. It's about the families and communities in this place. And boy, is it a great place to live in Baton Rouge. And I appreciate all of the support that I've had in doing this job, because I could not have done this by myself. So now I'm going to kick it off to our wonderful board president, President Carla Powell. Thank you.
Good morning. First, I want to thank Dr. Narcisse for his service and dedication to this school district. Over the past 3 years, his contributions have provided greater opportunities and progress that will lend to a bright future for our students and community. So thank you. At the December board meeting, board members voted to not renew the contract of Dr. Narcisse as the superintendent of EBR Schools. Vice President Patrick Martin and I met with Dr. Narcisse and developed a severance agreement that will allow us to immediately name an interim Superintendent, which we hope to announce tomorrow. This particular severance agreement is simply a recommendation that will go before a vote on Monday at a special meeting at 5 p.m. We thank Dr. Narcisse not only for his service, but he will also be available to assist with the transition of the new leadership. We thank you, our community as well, for allowing us to share this information today. And we look forward to moving ahead. We look forward to continuing to build on the success that Dr. Narcisse has brought to this district. Thank you. Mr. Martin.
Thank you. I also would like to thank Dr. Narcisse for his dedicated service to this district for the past 2.5 years. He has indeed laid some strong foundation for us to build on moving forward in the future. As a public official, one has to make difficult decisions sometime, and this was an extremely difficult decision. It's very vital that we recognize the contributions that Dr. Narcisse made and not start all over from scratch again. We need to build on the foundations that he has laid as we move forward, and I'm very confident in the board and of the future of this district that we will continue to move forward and build on those foundations. Thank you.